Welcome to this fifth in a series of screencasts on secondary resources. This particular screencast will cover law reviews and other periodicals. Up next in screencast 6, we'll cover American law reports. So law reviews. They are a faster response to current trends. The current rate between submission of an article and getting published is about 9 months. So it's pretty current. It's a good research tool. You can mine it for citations to primary and secondary sources. It'll analyze an issue or an aspect of an area of law and help you organize your papers and figure out what some trends are. So if you're looking to find a topic, you might want to find a law review article. If not, then you can also look to social science articles and journal articles for support as well. Law review articles are mostly and more traditionally written by law professors. The argument is that they're written for professors. The trend actually is now for judges and practitioners to write more law review articles. Practitioners have traditionally written for bar journals and bulletins. They're much shorter, but they're more current. Law review articles are heavily footnoted. Bar journals, not so much. You can also use bar journals or law review articles as a historical snapshot of whatever's been going on in a particular period of time, and they can also look for trends going to the future because they can argue that particular policy needs to be developed going forward. So those are aspects that I want to emphasize regarding law reviews and journal articles. How do you find articles for your research? Well, on Westlaw, you guys are probably familiar with this. If you go to secondary sources from your homepage, you can explore law reviews and journals in this middle column by type. And you can go by jurisdiction. Often I would not go that way. Different states will still cover different particular things that you're looking for. And you might even go by topic, but you can search in law reviews and journals and type in an advanced search or basic keyword search in this top search box. In Lexis, if you go to Browse, Sources, by category, and you can browse secondary materials, as you can see, and you further select a filter law reviews and journals on the left hand side of the page. Then you can further select the type of subject you want and then just search. Now that you've searched within the sources, you can search up here or within the sources for particular search terms that you want. Okay, so that's how to search for law review and journal articles within Lexis and Westlaw. But Lexis and Westlaw, they only hold, 300 titles each. And by title, I mean an example of a title would be New Mexico Law Review or Harvard Business Review. Those are titles. So they have each of them 300 titles, give or take. And oftentimes they overlap a lot. So there are at least, I would say, 1,400, at least in the US, journal titles out there. So cast a wider net for finding articles for your research. Don't just rely on Lexis and Westlaw because you want to be thorough, right? Especially if you are doing source and site checking for your journals yourself.
Or you might be doing scholarly research as an RA for a professor, or you're doing research for yourself for your writing requirement.
Don't just rely on Lexis and Westlaw. Find your articles. Use your resources in the law library and finding articles from this particular page.
How do you get to this particular library guide? You go to our library homepage, lawlibrary.unm.edu, and you click on the link on the left-hand side of the page titled Research Guides. Once you do that, you'll come to a list of 39 guides. You'll look for one titled Finding Journal Articles, and it will bring you to that particular library guide.
You want to see if we have access to a particular title
where
you know that it's a title of a journal that you want, but you don't know, for example, the actual article title.
You'd go to our law library homepage, lawlibrary.unm.edu, and you would go to main library journal search, get in there, and
say you know the title begins with, and it's the North Dakota Law Review. So you want to search that and see if we have that particular title. We do. This is the North Dakota Law Review. We have it in Lexis Academic Search, and Hein Online. Something I want you guys to remember is that if you have access to Hein Online, which you do as students and you will as practitioners, whenever you come to the law library, you can access it from the law library computers for free. If you go to Hein Online, the journals that are reproduced in Hein Online for you are captures of the specific images as they looked in print. So they haven't digitized them and reformatted them like Lexis and Westlaw have. They haven't, for example, reformatted the footnotes to endnotes. They haven't reformatted so that they're digitized and you lose the graphics that might have been implemented, especially any maps or charts the author has seen fit to include. So let's search this title. We have the title. We've pulled it up on Hind Online. If you go to the Law Journal library, go back in Hind, they list all the titles here as well. If you link to it from our catalog, you can find it there and it'll just take you directly to the title. But if you go to N, we know it's the North Dakota Law Review, clicking on the A to Z list here, you can scroll down to North Dakota Law Review here. And then we open that list up by clicking on that little plus symbol next to the title, North Dakota Law Review. And you see how it's actually organized by the volume number and the year. So it's really easy for you to find. And then say if you opened up that listing, they'd list all the titles and the authors of all the articles in all the issues of that particular title. It's really handy and way easier than finding it, say, by just doing a random keyword search on Lexis and Westlaw. So if you want to search that whole title, North Dakota Law Review, you can. And I know the title of the article that I want, so I'm going to search that title, North Dakota Law Review. The title of the article is When the State Bar Exam Embraces Indian Law. I'm putting that in quotes. I'm going to search it. Searching here. I'm not limiting it any further than that. And I have one match. And it's this particular one. It's written by our own Gloria Valencia Weber and our own Sherry Nicole Thomas. And Hind will give you not only the full text of the article, which we'll see in a minute, but it will also give you how many articles have cited it, and you can link to those articles in turn and how many times it's been accessed. So let's click on that link, and it gives you all the cited information as well as citation information. So as you can see, it's reproduced exactly as it was on the page. Let's go back to the Law Library homepage and do a search in another way, and say through eJournal Finder. Say that you know the title of the article that you're looking for, and you want to see if we have it electronically, assuming that we do. You can type in the article title. Okay. We know the journal title. We know the author's surname, Lindsay Weber, Gloria. So now you need all of those key pieces of information. It's still resolving itself. Don't pay any attention to this until it's done searching. And see, then it gives you the full text. And it pulls it up as it has it. Let's look at the full text that it gives you here. Now, it won't necessarily pull it from Hind Online. Here it's choosing to pull it from EBSCO. Let's see how they format it the same way, and it is. Yep, they've captured it exactly how it looked in print. Okay, so that's another way of doing it. If you actually know the title that you're looking for, you can try finding it through eJournal Finder. Let's say you just want to search for articles by topic. You don't know anything else about what you want to search for. Again, you'll go to the Law Library homepage, click on Research Guides on the left-hand side of the page, scroll down through all the guides to Finding Journal Articles. To get beyond what's available on Lexis and Westlaw, a way to do that is to look at things that are available through an index. They may not necessarily give you links to full text of articles. Now we're kind of spoiled, we're used to that, but it's kind of a two-step process, and it's the price of being thorough. It's not necessarily convenient, but you can make sure that you've done a thorough enough search for what you need. And also after that, I'm going to encourage you to look at these free resources here for stuff that may be published not in Hind or in anywhere else, but in these legal repositories, including SSRN. SSRN, or Social Science Research Network, being one of the repositories, including legal repositories, where scholars from our field will deposit their draft articles for review and commentary from other legal scholars, as well as sometimes published articles for exposure and downloads by other scholars as well. I'm going to give you an example of searching an index as an alternative to searching a full-text resource like Lexis or Westlaw for scholarly journal articles and law review articles. This index, Legal Source, provides indexing and full-text coverage of not only well-respected scholarly law journals, but indexing of additional legal journals, bar association publications, and so forth. It contains over 1,100 journals and law reviews, as opposed to Lexis or Westlaw, which have 200 to 300. If we click on Legal Source, do a search like Indian Law and Bar Exam, we'll see that it gives you 2 hits, not only from a practitioner resource, Arizona attorney, but also this scholarly article. If we want to do another search and cast a wider net, we can search that same search but apply related words and equivalent subjects, as well as search within the full text of the articles. We have 60 results, some full text, some abstracts, but you cast a much wider net and are more thorough in your search if you use an index like this. If you look at this particular record, Indian Law needed addition to the Arizona Bar Exam, it doesn't give you a direct link to the document, but if you go back to our homepage, you can click on eJournal Finder and look for this particular article there, or click in WorldCat and search the Law Library catalog, and you can either access it in print or online through eJournal Finder. So again, let's go back to our PowerPoint. From this list of subscription resources, you can certainly search Legal Track, but you can also expand your search to things like Google Scholar and free resources like through legal repositories like bpress and SSRN. There are open access or free repositories accessible to anyone in that list, so bpress is one of them. LoboVault is affiliated with this law school, also the Legal Scholarship Network, like SSRN. Usually for most journals, the trend is that they'll put the current issue up for free on their website, and the trend is also that they're making a lot of issues freely available through their websites as well. So you have access to articles or history repository of articles through their website. If not, then you'll have to pay for the older stuff. So bpress, as an example, if you search, you can browse research and scholarship. They'll even describe it. Their legal repository offers working papers and preprints from scholars and professionals at top law schools around the world. So you can browse by subject here, or browse